Hi, my name is Bob and welcome back to the homestead, y'all. This is the entrance to our main garden, and this year we decided to switch our trellises to cattle panel fencing. For the last 20 or 25 years we've used regular cattle fencing, just welded wire fencing, and that's worked fine for us. But a few years ago when we started going no-till and planting cover crops, we started getting so much more fruit and vegetables and harvesting off our vegetables that the old welded wire worked fine with just beans, but when we started trellising cucumbers and beans on them, they started to droop a little bit. So this year we decided to go with cattle panels, and I'm hoping that they'll work well. They're much stronger, they're a lot thicker. We used them on our tomato cages this year also. So today I thought I would just show you roughly how we installed them. We used T-posts to go down through here, and we used hose clamps to clamp them to the T-post. Now I haven't clamped the last T-post yet, so I figured I'd show you how we're doing it with the hose clamps, and these are just regular old hose clamps you can get at AutoZone or anywhere else. I just happened to get a whole bunch of them at an estate sale here a while back, just dirt cheap, so that's why I decided to use them. Plus they secure it to the T-post real well. So I'll grab the camera, I'll bring you back here, I'll show you how we do it, and I'll give you a few of the measurements on it, so that way if you want to be able to walk under your trellises like we do, even with the welded wire, we like to walk under it, because when we were picking beans, we could just set our bushel basket on the ground and just pick beans and just drop them right into it. So it works really well. So I'll grab the camera and I'll show you how we're installing these and give you a few measurements. Okay, to start with, these are 16 feet long by 50 inches wide. So if I put a tape measure on here, that's right at 50 inches, and they're 16 feet long. So if you want to be able to walk under your trellises, like me, I'm right at 6 foot, and the spacing that we have ours, this is 6 foot 6 inches, okay? So if you space your T-posts 5 foot 6 inches, so coming across the bottom of these T-posts, that one's at 5 foot 6 inches, and this one's at 5 foot 6 inches, then you're going to have an arch that's roughly 6 foot 6 inches. So that's plenty of room to walk under. Now once the beans and the cucumbers get on here and they start hanging down, I may have to duck a little coming into the garden, but that's no big deal. I'll deal with that just fine. So spacing them 5 foot 6 inches is going to give you 6 feet 6 inches at the top. Now you're spacing this way, since these are 50 inches, you want your T-post at roughly 51 inches. And that gives you a little bit of a gap here to get your hose clamp around it and to clamp them to the T-post real well. These, I clamped them behind the actual T on the T-post, and I'll show you that real quick right now. Okay, you can see on this post, I ran the cattle fencing back behind the T, and then put the hose clamp around it there, and that secures it real well. I found the hose clamp. I started using wire down here on these, and I went back once I realized I had some hose clamps that would work great. Grab the hose clamps, and you put one at the bottom, one at the top, and you're good to go. So let's go ahead and do these last two. I have my impact wrench with a 3/8 driver in it, and that's what the size of this hose clamp is a 3/8. So we're just going to wrap this hose clamp around down here at the bottom, and I'll get it started back, and then I'm going to squeeze the wire in behind the T-post here. Okay, I have it started back, just like that. Then I'll come back up here at the top, and I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Just make sure you don't get your fingers behind it, because it will squish your fingers. Alright, just like that. So our trellis is secure. Now I can do the other side, and I'm ready to plant some beans in here and some cucumbers in here. This one's a different size. I forgot about that. Alright, just like that. I'm going to move that around a little to where we don't get snagged on that excess clamp here. There. It's nice and secure. Should hold our cucumbers and our beans up real well. Alright, that has our trellises secure. So now we can come in and put some cardboard down and some compost over top of it and plant our beans and plant our cucumbers in here. And this will give them something to grow on the rest of the summer, and it'll make it easy for Christy and I to harvest our beans. And it's a lot easier to harvest your cucumbers because your cucumbers will just be hanging here. You won't have to go walking across the ground and flipping leaves over trying to find cucumbers. And then you always miss some, so you get some big cucumbers that you can't use for anything, and we just end up feeding them to our chickens. So if you have any questions about this build, or if you enjoyed this video, you're really going to like the video down here or the link in the description. If you have any comments, please leave them below, and thanks for watching.